talking bad about Soldier, but hey. The ult, not great, okay.
He stocks with sandals,
double
but
headshot.
clicking heads. Yeah, but he's gonna get punished as Void takes him out, gets some of that revenge. Faye and Lip also taking a lot of damage here too. Lee Jae-gon just trying to get into position, but he gets melted by Creative after trying to go for that res onto Fleta. He sacrifices himself, so now Fleta actually won't have to push him forward, and then he gets anti-Fitz. Actually not going according to the plan. Now the EMP fighting for Animo goes down thanks to it. Creative taking a lot of that damage. See Seoul Dynasty just trying to back off, but with this visor, they're he's not going anywhere. He was by himself over to the side. They isolate him. Yeah, he did kill Lee Jae-gon, so that means that Fleta won't have the sustainability and does have that rocket barrage, so he's actually forced to back off, and that's super charged.
If you're Fleta at this point.
See the Dragons too, not trying to contest that. They're playing extremely patiently while they still have control here. Gets stunned immediately after he tries to use the rocket barrage. No saving that, not even with the Valkyrie. Does manage to get that res and reposition, but they've lost Uzuyaki at the same time. That means they won't have the nano boost in the process when you have the Seoul Dynasty about to flip the point and push it back into overtime.
Yeah, OT's coming through. Fleta's back up in the skies, but as quick as he's up, he's down again. Double hit scan versus the Farah. Still playing furthest back he possibly can to try and chunk Fitz down and just make use of that range.
They do have the nano boost at least to keep Fleta alive, but yeah, now Void out of position. Ant Matrix 2 to control that space in front. They won't have the Valk, so Shock here tries to negate some of that damage put on by the attack visor by Prophet. Fleta finding the opportunity to talk about the nano barrage, and here it comes. Does find Animo and Fitz in the process. When Fleta, he was playing behind and he found the opportunity to close in that gap, and now diving in. Fate's gonna help clean up with Fleta, and they're also gonna be able to move it to the point. Their plan finally executed, but on their back line. Comes the EMP though, finding Fork here, that's great, but they shut him down immediately and they shut down Fleta at the same time. Finding these headshots, Fitz has been on point. We do find some trades as the Dragons, they get that revenge onto Creative and Fitz, and Lee Jae-gon does get that res. The point though, going in favor.
Doesn't find anybody, and they almost end up flipping the point too. Actually, saying that, they just did. Animo's dead,
now.
but Lee Jae-gon's to follow.
Right as you call it too, in the Seoul Dynasty, they waste no time to flip it right back, reading 92%, and Prophet's got that pulse bomb, just trying to demech Void. Does so in the reset with the bomb. Before Void tries to get right back in, but no, Prophet's not having it. He melees him, knows he's won, and now nearing the point where the Dragons gotta figure something out. Farah's not working out. They're just immediately shutting him down. They don't even touch the point. They don't even touch the point. They can't.
Like rocket jump, I guess. Kind of a rocket, but not really.
Oh, here comes the EMP. Found the opportunity here, but just gonna trade that in as Izuyaki is the one to get singled out by Fitz. It's gonna be better look here for the Shanghai Dragons as they do clean up 3. That's just a matter for the rally from Lee Jae-gon to try to close things off, but I believe here the Seoul Dynasty have already backed off, but they're gonna... It's all about that healing output from that Transcendence. Here come the Minefield, now the Diva Bomb coming in. Jae-gon finding that pick onto Prophet with the flail. They're still finding a lot of these trades in their favor, but the Transcendence is going to be activated from Creative, just trying to keep the rest of Dynasty alive. Here comes the grab to stop the approach on the staircase. Void could just ignore that. He could just fly up on the high ground, but they've lost Lee Jae-gon at the same time. Transcendence for Transcendence here is both Izuyaki.
Points, gesture as mind. Creative blue trans? Okay, so felt way too pressured by Fleta, it seems.
Fleta just forcing that out. Looking great here too. That's gonna be the go button as Lip finds Prophet. Comes Lee Jae-gon that has the rally. He's gonna activate it to allow the Dragon to finally find their footing on this payload. Getting into position here, just forcing the Seoul Dynasty out of that high ground. It's Animo who's on the side. Fleta finally get that revenge. They sandwich him. No man left behind here. As now you currently see Lip getting into position. Does have that EMP for this next fight, and they do here behind the Dragons, but they have an EMP themselves. Oh, they try to utilize that too. Now they're on to Creative, and they do find him. Fitz still has his EMP, but with that, 2U getting to both of the supports out of the Shanghai Dragons, out of that grab. Fleta gonna answer right back with the pulse bomb. Currently the Dragons, they're unfazed here, it's fine. Fitz still activated that EMP, and Fleta still finds Chester. This is looking good here for the Dragons as they are trying to clean up around Seoul Dynasty. They're struggling here one by one after the Transcendence has been activated. That's the go button, and they get off. They're not there. The Dragons now.
Nice little flash to scare Fate away, and Izayaki falls already. As soon as this comp from the Dynasty takes control of Big O's here on the high ground, they're as good as golden. Fate knows that too, trying to push everybody away. D-Mech, kill on Fate as well. This is a good offense right now from the Seoul Dynasty. Read the comp from the Dragons.
Though, who's getting ready, trying to get into position to activate that EMP. Tries to isolate the supports, does find Animo. Make a gesture and 2U2. They have some ultimates reaching soon, that they're going to have soon rather, and no follow-ups from the EMP was unfortunate because that was really the name of the game here. So much pressure with Void getting demegged and now Fleta going down. It's just Fate getting that pick and the Transcendence, allowing the Dragon to get into position, but it may just be too late. Creative finding two. Both of the supports from the Dragons, they're gone, and the minefield. And now looking a lot better, having that high ground. Here comes the Molten Core all around the payload, clearing it forward. Izayaki goes down again. Supercharger coming in for Gesture, but the EMP finding 4 2U also. But Animo and Creative, they back off, and they also have the Immortality field. 2U popping off. Liv finally getting a pick, but it's just on the Animo, and the rest of the Seoul Dynasty have the number advantage. And they're also just reaching, they're inching closer to that point P, but you see Liv.
Good with back. Fits as well. He's no HP. He gets DM'd as 2U and survives and kills Void.
How is he alive?
Like the Seoul
I don't
Dynasty,
understand.
They're actually moving like a giant battleship right now through the Dragons. There is nothing stopping them. Just taking to the waves. Taking the high grounds where their comp does best. Prophet is going to try and sneak it in.
Oh,
nice pulse bomb.
Still managed to get the pulse bomb right. And Animal actually had gotten the shield bash too at the same time, but that pulse bomb finding its stick, that's definitely going to do it. And now they do manage to get some damage coming in. You have Fitz in the back line just trying to get into position. Izayaki, though, is on the back line. He has a Transcendence. They forced it out. He's backing out, too, but the Ant Matrix, you talk about that and how that's going to clear some space. Meanwhile, Lip getting 2, not only finding a head, but also finding Jester with the Dragons. Minute and 40 seconds, ticking away from the Seoul Dynasty as they lose this fight. They have to reset with the Dragons moving all the way up. Just trying to get into position right here. Oh, but he gets detected. He has to back off. They know he's right there. They know he's just trying to get into position. He utilizes an EMP, does find Jester 2U, also gets demecked. Fitz goes down, or rather he gets discorded. He's taking too much damage. Prophet was the one that went down first. Now currently the Dragons, they're cleaning up the Dynasty. Nobody left in sight to touch this point, especially with those minefields out there. The Dragons, they take the map, and they're putting themselves...
Fate going down too.
Fate going down and Void getting hacked. Right here, the EMP already built up by Lip. It does fight for the follow from Fleta. He has the rocket bras. They're low too, but he has to be wary. He does see Animal right there. He doesn't want to trickle himself in. He gets stunned. I was wondering if he was actually going to funnel himself in, but with Lee Jae gone right there, he went for the attempt, but the sleep from Creative? Okay, and the nano boost too while he's at it. The Seoul Dynasty are wasting no time to take this first point already in the map. That's it. The rest of the Dragons, it's time for a reset to hold that second point.
Wow,
that primal, see them just trying to back off with the amount of pressure onto Lee Jae. Fitz finishes things off, closes that kill, and now Fleta's so low, forced to back off into the health pack. The rest of the Seoul Dynasty, though, they're already making their way over, so we need to touch. They do manage to at the very end. It was looking so close. Big EMP's found 4, but no kills to follow up, almost looking like the last map when Lip was on Sombra.
Nice little sleep. They got 2 ticks. They need 5% more. Creative and Prophet end up going down.
Oh,
this should just be it. Gesture's dead too. That'll be the clean up for the Seoul Dynasty, going all the way back to spawn. They do manage to find...
back into the line of sight of Izayaki, but he gets demecked in the process, and he gets deleted as he just hangs outside of that Jester circle. The shield, rather, and now the EMP coming in. Fleta, Izayaki getting called out by it. Fleta's the one to go down as Jester actually just jumps on top of him. Liv does find Fitz, though, after he utilized that EMP, and now a Diva Bomb getting sent over to the spawn towards the Shanghai Dragons. Void coming out of the spawn, now angry, finding Prophet. Jester getting his revenge, and he has a Diva Bomb, too, to go for a reset just in case. They're cleaning things up in that side room, and this is what happens when you funnel yourself over there, and Fleta has the pulse. He's angry, he's tired of it, and their defense is just looking so strong that the Seoul Dynasty...
Unless he gets 100 NG and gets nano, but it's already on Gesture, and look, everybody from the Seoul Dynasty runs away. Izayaki goes down first, though.
And the way that the Dragons are playing split up here too, they're just forcing the Seoul Dynasty to make a decision. It's contested, but you have less than 10 seconds to get onto this point. Void getting demeched here and Fate getting deleted. They're doing it right now, Jaws. I don't know how. The rally forced out from Lee Jae-gon as he backs up, but Iziaki's gone and the rest of the Dragons are gonna meet him in the spawn. Overtime now taking away, and Dynasty, I don't know how they did it, but they did with the swap. Now diving all the way in with Creative and that nano boost. Just enough to clear out that space. EMP now onto Fate and Void. There's only so long the Dragons could try to stay here. The nano boost now onto Lip. They're trying desperately to keep this into overtime, but the picks are not going in their favor.
Tragic. Absolutely tragic from Lip. He tried to do the punch and jump over the little lip of the... Yeah, I mean, this is just finally over. Yeah, that was a little bit...
Opportunity before diving back in, and that's what they were waiting for. Helping out Fate is Void, just trying to boot the Seoul Dynasty off, but look how much damage Creative is putting on while he is on that high ground. They need to do something about that as Profit goes down. They trade that for Lip. Here comes the nano boost. Izayaki putting that onto Fate, but look how quickly he gets deleted by Creative. The follow-up too from the Discord Orb, that's what you get here when you have that positioning. You just go back and forth. He's waiting for the Dragons to just dive in. They don't have the nano boost here, and they don't have Iziaki while they're at it. Lee Jae-gon is also stuck in the room, needs some help, but there's nothing that anybody from the Dragons can do at this point, especially when it comes to Fate, who was trying to primal them away. Currently, the Seoul Dynasty, they win this fight against the Dragons, and nobody left from the Dragons to touch this point. Seoul Dynasty, they take the map, and now, like, there's going on. There's the Dragons, and now they're trying to rotate over to the side.
And there's Fleta dead.
Yeah, there's Fleta gone,
and there's
too.
Fate. Oh, almost in the drink.
Fitz does have the Dragons, and he's going to utilize it after forcing them to rotate over to the side. Oh, Fitz still also gets that pick onto Lee Jae-gon. Dragons, where are you? Because right now...
Over again. Pulse available for Profit. Big engage. Fitz low.
Oh,
Fitz
and they
taken care of.
and do you hate the Dragons too, by the way? We heard the soundbite, but not going to be out in the field. Kind of popping off, but it's not going to be enough. He gets taken down after getting punished by that Diva Bomb after he utilized the Pulse Bomb, but now it's going to be the Seoul Dynasty who are still sticking on to this point. They've lost their main tank. It's up to 2U. The Dragons now rotating over to the side room, isolating the Dynasty. Finally seeing an opening.
Now Fitz on the creep, hyper defensive comp. They have creative on the back as well. It's going to be very hard to dive this comp. And not only that, look at where they're going to position, straight on the payload. Although, with Animo falling, makes it a little bit more deadly.
With this positioning, the way that the Dragons are kind of spread out actually from both angles, it's so difficult for the Dynasty to actually pinpoint who to dive down when some of the supports from the Dragons were even hanging out in that side room there. Does get hit with the flail. Backing off just a little bit, but the Transcendence has been out from Iziaki. The Pulse Bomb now from Fitz. That was an aggressive Transcendence just to get the Dragons into position to move forward on the Dynasty so that way they can control the space to get this payload to that second point. Currently, with Iziaki going down, though, this just leaves things up to Lee Jae-gon to keep the rest of the team alive. With the remake pick onto Creative. Supposed to be smaller now, by the way. Already hanging up there. The Dragons are just waiting for the opportunity to contest because it's going to be set to overtime and they need to stay on the point.
They do get the touch, but Fate's already dead, Vicky.
See Lee Jae-gon just trying to move all the way back, but he gets halted, he gets pulled into the line of sight as they're just cleaning things up, and the Seoul Dynasty would look to be them faltering on their defense. The Dragons still...
Just getting a quick pick. Speaking of quick picks...
so lethal too. Oh, Fate actually coming right back in. We're actually pretty impressive here. Seoul Dynasty being able to find those 2 ticks. The Dragons, though, are going to put a stop to that with Fleta coming back in, popping off with this Tracer, and being able to get these follows from Iziaki, who's also getting some of those. Wants a piece of the cake, too, you know? Just putting on so much pressure. Fitz actually forcing to back off, getting out of that line of sight. But look, they're not giving up. They're actually taking this rally over to the side room. It's chaotic. Comes a Diva Bomb now, too. It does find Iziaki, but the Immortality Field... Actually, yeah, the fact that they wanted to bring that fight over and then Animal with the rally, look how quickly they realized the situation, but it was too late. Now the Dynasty, they're able to start escorting this payload. Sure that they can try to keep contesting this payload, although right now with Seoul Dynasty having to back off instead of finding Fitz. Here comes a Transcendence from Iziaki. as everybody's funneled into that room, but now they can get into position, they can get aggressive, and they can clean up the Seoul Dynasty.
Someone's
similarly to what they,
yeah,
somebody needs to actually contest. That's what I was worried about, but they get back. Oh, gets away in time. The EMP, it's huge here. Stops the rally and deletes Animo, deletes Jester at the same time. Fleta popping off, he gets stopped, but it's okay. The Dragons have the number advantage. And the Seoul Dynasty have less than a minute and 20 seconds, but they do have ultimates to work with. A minute left here. Now comes the rally. The minefields has isolated them, though. Animo has to go around, but the minefields stop creative and fits. Huge here. They have less than a minute. And now the transcendence from Easy Yucky? Question mark again? So many of these that we've seen tonight.
Yeah, a bit odd use the transcendence there, but I take that back completely, Vicky. You don't need to rally for rally if you can just get a double kill with the mines, just waiting for the kills.
This fight, if he stays in here. Already so close. He is on that high ground. There it is. Just has to get into position. You gotta touch the point.
No, they don't touch.
I said you gotta touch the point. But anyways, now moving on to the point. Getting online here. Contention as the Dragons are just trying to get into position. Here comes Prophet, though, going all the way in and finding that melee pick onto Lige gone. As he's taken about, he's gone. Iziaki's the only one up to keep the rest of Dragons alive, but it's not going to be enough. Both these tanks taking too much pressure. Void already back, and it's the Dynasty taking control first.
Yeah, like I said, perfect pick for the...
Going into this, though, Lip and Fitz both have EMP for this fight. Getting into that position, found both the supports here. Creative is so low, and he finally goes down. I was worried that there wasn't going to be a follow-up. Now to actually replicate that, see Fitz doing the same thing. This time it's the Dragons who are still up and alive, just minus Fitz. They flipped the point in their favor, but already 60% in favor for the Dynasty on the point. And now going around the drum with this Transcendence, just trying to play with that Transcendence aggressively to get into position. They found Iziaki immediately too. They literally just dove on both the supports. Who said you need a Lucio when you have a Transcendence to just get into position instead?
Yeah, that was really nice too. He
As possible, but just has the ability to stall for as long as possible and wait out for the rest of the Dynasty to make their way over. But looking like they may not. All right, we do have the Fitz right here, but can he stay on the point?
Against Sombra, it feels like it's almost impossible. You're going to get hacked as soon as you get onto the point. EMP available.
And here it goes, Transcendence for Transcendence too, just dancing around, but Dynasty still need to get on the point. The EMP coming in. Lip now not going to be able to even get in the fray because the rest of the Dragons, they hold nothing that they were
Mega health pack room control already from Seoul Dynasty. Oh, Nip's dead.
Taking care of the immortality field there too. They trade here with Fitz popping off, actually. No trade, it's just Fitz finding two. Void gets demeched. Iziaki is out of this fight. Great start for the Seoul Dynasty for this high ground and attack visor. Fitz is also going to try to match out, try to cover the other side. Option coverage coming in from Seoul Dynasty and their awareness. They knew that Shanghai Dragons were forced to go the other way, but it's Fleta on the soldier with his tack visor getting way more of an impact. Forget to you getting this Demon Bomb pick. Fleta's out here with the tack visor. He got a 4K.
Whoa.
Alright. Oh, he actually peeked! Oh, why would you peek? Oh, and then Fitz tested him too! Oh, what is going on right now?
He got...
What?
He might have got booped. He actually might have got booped by Void. I didn't see where Void was. Maybe I was kind of just looking at all the skulls, but...
Now the Dynasty, they have that high ground position. Oh, just diving right in, Void. See Fitz taking so much damage here. Lip is the one to finish him off. And now diving in, Void shifts his attention and Animo's popping off, getting a quick 2K. Though the point is slowly ticking away in favor for the Dragons. The Seoul Dynasty finally making their way over, but it's not enough people, even though you see that remake pick onto Lige gone. It's Fleta, who has the ability to have way more of that space again after utilizing that visor.
Vicky is an OT. They're just struggling to get back onto the point. Prophet kills Void.
They're just staggering out right now. Jaws the Dragons, they end up doing it. They end up taking the first win in the Countdown Cup for themselves. It was a close call here. The Seoul Dynasty, they were nearly right there. I know you have to consider the fact that that C9 that happened on Blizzard World, they're really beating themselves up over that one. But the Dragons, they took the opportunity and they nailed it, finding the win and finding again that first win for this stage.
Oh my goodness.